Join Global Society for Anti-Corruption every Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. for Revelation, where we expose it to change it. This is Revelation, made possible by Global Society for Anti-Corruption. It happens every Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. Uche Gabriel is my name, and so good to have you listening. We continue to talk about electoral fraud, electoral anomalies. There are so many things that happen during election, and we're going to be looking at it from different sides. But quickly, I'd like to introduce my guests. I have two of them right here. We have a former route commander with the Federal Road Safety Commission, who is currently the special assistant to the Enugu State Government on safety, Barrister Henry Nana Okeke. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, good to have you.
Thank you.
And then we also have someone who was a student union activist. He was a member of the 1998-89 Constituent Assembly in Abuja, where he was voted to represent Ezagu local government area. He is a founding member of the Social Democratic Party SDP, a member of a presidential visitation panel to Federal College of Education Zaria in 1999. He was elected chairman of Ezagu local government under controversial circumstances. Commissioner, Enugu State Independent Electoral Commission, 2010 to 2015. Currently, he's a country director, Ethical Reforms Project, an NGO, and chairman, Agbaja Forum, deputy director, Gregory University Uturu Consult, among others. Let's welcome Honorable Charles Nwokike. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Good to have you. All right, we're looking at elections, and we are barely 3 weeks away from the presidential elections. And when we talk about fraud, when we talk about things that go wrong in elections, what is uppermost in your mind, Barrister Henry?
Okay, the issue of fraud during electioneering period, to me, is a national issue that has created imbalance in the system, a system that ought ordinarily to produce leaders that will bring about change in the society, has been marred by a lot of corrupt practices.
Okay.
And of great significant is the trending issue of vote buying that has permeated into the political system, and you must know that it seems everybody is guilty of this now, from the recent events in the nation where this party is accusing the other party and this party is accusing the other party of the same crime. So we have a challenge at hand, and it calls for all hands on deck. It calls for everybody to think deeply, search our conscience, and see how we can stop this menace, because it's actually a menace and it's threatening the very process that brings about the leaders we are desiring.
All right, and of course they say the outcome can never be better than the process, and so when we talk about vote trading, we're also talking about someone who buys and someone who sells, and that means what is supposed to be the process of getting good leaders is now business. And so, but then the people who will normally complain about the kind of leaders that will produce are also involved.
It's pathetic, Uche. It's pathetic that we have left what we should be doing as a people, and we are doing another thing. Come to think about it, someone is coming to serve you and is paying you to come and serve you. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. I have been a contestant and an aspirant, and I'm speaking from experience. that I want to come and serve you. And you want me to pay you to come and serve you. What kind of generation have we found ourselves?
It's very pathetic.
So I think we are all going to be talking to ourselves as a people. Christians, Muslims, traditional practitioners, everybody. It's time to talk to ourselves. What we're doing, is it proper? How many times are we going to do this?
It's even terrible that anybody who doesn't have money.
And I tell you what, this is not a recent thing. The history of vote buying, if you check very well, it's just that it has been modified. It has been monetized. Before now, it used to be salt and soap and all that. It started with salt and soap.
And wrappers.
And all that.
Okay.
So as time goes on, it became liquid, money. And it's threatening our democracy. It's threatening the leadership we are all clamoring for.
All right. Let's bring in Honorable Charles Mukike. I don't know how, when you were elected, whether you bought votes or you, but you should be worried about what's going on, since you're bothered about ethics.
Yes, not only that, I attended many courses locally and internationally on election administration, and I did an independent study. I wrote some books, some articles on election. The correlation between election and government. Credible election is the only thing that can bring in good governance.
Credible election.
Yes. But what I'm trying to, my take in this violence, election manipulation, fraud, there are a lot of factors responsible. The first one is unemployment.
These are contributing factors.
Yes, when the youths are not employed, they see politics as the only way out, where you go and get 500 naira. They have the time. If they are gainfully employed, engaged, fully engaged, you will see less people at Opera Square. You will see less people at the local government headquarters. They'll be busy doing their business. But once they are not engaged and employed, on the day of election, they will come there and they expect to get something from you. And if something, they make themselves willing tools in the hands of the mischief makers. This is one important area. Forget about civic education, forget about voter education. Get to the basics. This is one. Then another one is government interference. Desperation of the government to have their way. Because if there's something I said I'll give you, how governor, chief executive manipulate the electoral process. From the day the REC arrives, they have rigged the election. It's here. I have stated it graphically. From the day the REC is posted to the state, the governor has rigged the election. It trickled down to the level where, because of the legis that is being extended to the REC, he allows the party to select the presiding officers. That is what is the practice. Forget about that. They say go to the website and get copper. How many coppers? Check the percentage of people that are employed through that website that are going to do the election. It's minimal. The rest are filled in by party loyalists. This is just one basic thing. And what is their mission? Go to the place, make sure that our interests are protected. So once that thing happens, you are setting the stage for fraud. Then another one is the security agencies. The security agencies will expect somebody, the highest bidder, give them money and they keep away others.
It's unfortunate.
Yes. Then you come to the election management board. This time we're talking about the body. We're talking about INEC. What do? There are allegations that the original result booklet is not released. They bring duplicates to the booth and then take the original to somewhere where the people that can afford to pay will sit down and write their results. These things are not good for the system. And furthermore, we have a lot of things. For instance, the location of the polling station. If it's centrally located in a neutral place, fine. But sometimes it's located. I went to monitor election in Zaria 2013. And we discovered that 4 booths were in front of a traditional ruler's his compound. So of course when you come in, you vote his candidate. If you are not for him, then you don't come in. So the location, there are a lot of factors, like I said. That if the people had the will, we'll start with education, not voter education, not civic education, but education for living. Once the youth are adequately educated, and then they do their rights, they are fully engaged, they're fully employed, then we have set the pace, the pedestal for a good electoral system. Otherwise, if we continue the way we are going, vote buying. I was quarreling with my brothers when I came in. I said, look, they come and put a bus for you. You go to Opera Square. At the end of the day, they give you pure water and 500 naira. If you are serving medicine, they will pay you 2,000 naira, 1,005. Don't you feel you are better off serving medicine? They tell you in Igbo, Kaman has to go at the end of the day, you are poorer, you are the loser for it. So once we get them well oriented,
who's going to do this orientation?
Thank you very much. It is a collective responsibility. But primarily, don't forget that education is this in the exclusive legislative list. So government owe it to the youths, federal, state and local government, to give quality education, provide opportunities. A local government can provide opportunity. There's a paper I'm presenting, maybe one day I'll submit to the Enugu State government, on private sector driven economy. I believe that every local government had the potentials to develop on its own. There are resources in every local government, and there are people that will, drive that development from the locality. You don't need to centralize everything. So once we key into that, if you go to China, they have clusters. They have clusters. You develop this one, you develop this one. Okay, I'm from a Ziag local. I'm from what? Our people were known in the past for producing pots.
Pots?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ceramic pots.
So what happened to that?
No, that's it. Everybody lost it. Today, we are trying to bring it back. You go to Ebe, they talk about Oba.
Okay.
Cultivate Oba. Export. You go every part of the state. Go to Leja. Ose Soka.
Yeah.
Give it the attention is required. And then you see how this is working. People will go there.
So from what you've said, there's a correlation between unemployment as a fueling factor for all these anomalies.
I take it as the first and foremost.
Okay.
Once we address that factor, all other things will be there. Because if the rec is compromised and they come there, the boys will say, no matter how much you give us, let's do the right thing. If you have gone through the electoral act, the current one we're going to use, you discover that even if the result is not there, electronic evidence is now admissible in court, in the tribunal. Forensic evidence is now admissible.
But it's not been signed.
No. The one we are going to use is the one that is signed. Not the unsigned one.
Okay.
It's the signed one that is going to be used. The one before that, before the amendment. So that's the one we're going to get. Just those things, these politicians are manipulating us. The difference between the unsigned one and the signed one is just very minimal.
Okay. All right, but Barrister Henry, how close are we to, because someone would say what Nwokike is painting is utopian, so to say, from where we are to what he's saying looks impossible. It's not like it's not possible. Other countries like Ghana, they are getting it right. So it's possible. But then how close are we to this? Because you're looking at people who will tell you, in Kenya, careful. Now, mecha election, no. So they don't even see how much significant the process is. How close are we? Are we ever going to get there?
All hope is not lost. In my perspective, if we consider the fact that unemployment is a major factor,
okay,
we can begin to engage the youth to be more productive. Because someone who has, if you have, for instance, an Ogu farm, I'm from Ogu local government.
Okay.
If you have an Ogu farm with about 5 or 6 departments, and these youths are employed in this farm, if you have an Ezeago farm, if you have an Udi farm, and these people are busy working, they may not have all the time to go and collect 500 naira. There is a dichotomy somewhere. We need youth participation, but not in the aspect that we are seeing now.
Okay.
the youth participation we want in government or in governance is the part where youth can actually say, this man can represent us very well, therefore we're going to contribute 100 naira per youth to sponsor him and make sure he does his job. Not just to sponsor him, but make sure he does his job, checkmate him and make sure he's performing. So we are not far from making it possible. We are not far from, it's not a hopeless situation, as it were. And I want to correct a little impression from my fellow discussant. It's not usually the government that manipulates Rex. Everybody is involved in this now. The opposition, they are more involved. Everybody. So we have a situation where, depending on, because in one state the opposition it can be the So what I'm saying in essence is we need to engage everybody, every aspect of our society. If the youth are employed, one, there will be reduction in this pathetic situation. Two, if we have a situation where voter education is actually not something that comes up when election is near, so it should be something that is in our school curriculum, something that we should know about. Two, three, if we have laws that can send people to jail for vote buying or vote selling, we can get to where we are heading to. So it's not a helpless situation. We don't even need to go to Ghana or anywhere to look at what we need to do. We all know what to do. Maybe we should, call all the parties, and then everybody will say, yes, this is what we want to now start doing. Yes, because when you come to a religious gathering, I don't want to say church or a mosque. If you come to a religious gathering and youths are gathered there, and the priest is emphatic about, if you know you belong to my church, don't sell your vote. Not just repent and go to heaven and all that. If you know you are a member of my church, don't sell your vote and don't buy votes. We need to hear that from our clergies. We need to hear that from everyone. Don't you think that some of the clergies that compromise themselves? That is the problem we have found ourselves. Because we see clergymen and dozen. Okay. So my take is we need to step up engaging the youth to be gainfully employed. Okay. Now, if most of the things we are prescribing, is government driven, and this government, in most cases, they don't even want to upturn the status quo. Some of them will prefer it is the way it is. Sure. So if most of the things we're prescribing is government driven and government is not ready to do that, how do we get there? If I say this, you may think because I am a special assistant to the governor. Let's hear you. But let me say that government, the one I know in Enugu State, is making an effort to engage the youth positively. Okay. Yes. How? If you look at, if you look at the Enugu State traders engagement that is going on now, you find out that someone that is engaged by the government to trade, supported by the government to be a trader, it cannot have time to start coming to, of course it's known that all over the 17 local governments in Enugu State, the governor or the government of Enugu State is engaging traders, bringing up more traders into the market, giving them incentives to start up something. These are the things that we expect government to intensify. We're expecting more. We're expecting the Udi farm. The Ogu farm. I have a vision for an Ogu farm where you can have poultry department, where you can have piggery department. Our people are good in cassava. I mean, why do we have an Iri local government and there's not an Iri farm? No. Okay, let me. So these are the issues. We need to come out from where we are and step up. The government is trying. Governor Ifeanyi is doing well in engaging the youth, and I hope he's going to do better when he's come back by May 29. Okay. Thank you. Let's bring in Andrew.
On the farm thing, when His Excellency, the former governor, Sullivan Chiri, when he was there, he traveled to Porto Novo There's a model fund, the Songhai Initiative. He went there, had an agreement with them to come in, bring it to Enugu State, and then establish it in the 17 local governments. The pilot one today is in Isiago. If you go there, you'll be marveled. Everything comprehensive. I'm replicating it. Martin literally replicated. Samuel replicated it. Many people. Gregory University, you come there, you see the Gregory Songhai Initiative. If you go there today, that's the youth who just go there, sit down, do their pens. You don't need to come out. So what is required? I took 2 officials of Enugu State government there. I said, please, why don't you bring His Excellency? Let's know how we get on these things. And some of us into the
it's doable.
Yes, some of us in consultancy, we know that we can get the World Bank to partner. So that one, you people who are in government, please press it on. Then second,
it's possible.
Yes, it's possible. The second one is why the violence and the fraud must continue. Government is too attractive. So the desperation, the win must win syndrome makes it that unless there is a way that you make government less attractive in Nigeria, then you will just continue that. Everybody goes into government, and that is because the laws are there, but the Nigerian law is so fluid and so plausible that people easily escape from it. I'm not accusing the lawyers, but injunctions sometimes help to make matters worse. So, but the fact is this: the desperation of the politicians to win causes it.
Okay, and there's sometimes you don't even see enough accountability.
No, you're talking about enough accountability. It's relative accountability, if I may use that word. So you are saying, how do we get there? There was a time I was preaching revolution. I stopped preaching it because one day I was queried. So what I'm now saying is, more people will come out and speak. If you are concerned, come out with position paper. Correct. That is why I admire this forum. This NGO coming up with giving that message. The more we speak, the more we make impact, we get close to people in power, engage the right people. I'm impressed with my colleague here. His track record coming out to be a special advisor to the governor. In some clients, you get a special advisor to the commission, he can't sit down and express himself. So once we raise the stakes and get the right people for the job, we have started. There are people that will sit with the governor, there are the people in ESCO. They will make the changes. You can't change a system from without.
Are you not worried we have a critical mass of people who don't seem to have even understood what the directions are or what the issues should be? You go to some of the rallies and you just see that we have a critical mass of ignorant people. I don't know.
No. Let me tell you one thing. I'm not indicting anybody. The process of selecting members of ESCO and then the drivers of the government is so fraudulent. It's not good. You just do it, representation. Yes. This man is right. My friend, give me one person.
Okay.
They will give you one person for commissioner. You put the person for commissioner. Make him commissioner for finance.
Whether he has a capacity.
Whether he has capacity or not. Whether he has the flame. So what I'm saying is that
my case is different anyway.
No. My case is different.
You sound intelligent.
Then let me comment briefly
we'll find out how you became an essay.
I'll tell you here. I'll tell you. I attended the exam. No, no. Anyway, let me speak briefly on the religious.
This one is a smart essay.
Yes.
If all essays were like
no. I'm so impressed. Yes.
Because we have a lot of them that are very media shy. That's the last thing. I know a member of a house who, the moment he cites journalists, he drops money for them.
No, when His Excellency met me for the first time, he said, "These are the type we want. Please join us."
Okay. And
that was it.
So you're talking about being shy. Let me talk on the religious angle before we leave that. Okay. You see, it is unfortunate that we have left the moral. This is one area I blame the white man. They brought in an alien culture into our society, and we lost, in our desperation to excel, we have lost our values. Most of the religious organizations, 90% of them preach prosperity. So in that context, You'll be surprised that somebody will go to that pastor. The pastor will stand on the pulpit and say, gentlemen, this coming election, we must vote for our own man.
Yeah, they have done that.
Who is our man? Who is our man?
The one that brought the money.
Thank you very much. Invite those politicians to attend our harvest and Thanksgiving. Invite them. So anybody that associates with them is now the right man.
Is their man.
So the important thing we have to do is, like I said, the government, whether we shy away from it or not, the NGOs must come up. Because the role the NGOs are playing are the role the churches were expected to play.
Yeah.
So this time around, you must come up with, don't call it shadow government, but the path not followed.
Okay.
Sometimes in government, like we just said in passing, most of the officials don't even know what they want. They don't even know what they're expected to do. They come to the executive council meeting, they sit down there, the governor will give instruction, they will carry it to their pound head, and that is all. Then what they try to learn is how to speak in rallies. So, all right, that is it.
Let's talk a little bit about safety. You're an expert in safety. That should safety. Safety is a big word.
Yeah.
And so, what comes to your mind in relation to the elections?
Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind on the issue of safety during the election time and campaign time is how we can minimize road crashes involving campaign vehicles.
Okay.
We have a culture that is very threatening to our lives. That once a vehicle is branded campaign vehicle, is now immune from traffic laws. That is not proper. If a vehicle is branded as a campaign vehicle, it calls for more caution. It calls for more diligence.
Okay.
Because if we have a sane society, the fact that I saw your campaign vehicle driving recklessly is enough for me not to vote for that candidate.
It's a message.
So we want a system, and the government, His Excellency, has directed through my office that the political parties should observe traffic rules this period. We have recorded more than 5 crashes
already
involving various political parties. And what are the causes? You know how these things happen. When they gather together to take off for campaign, some people will shine their eyes before driving off. We need to stop shining our eyes before taking off for campaign. And after the campaign starts by 10 a.m. perhaps and ends around 5 p.m. You anchor it at a place and have some refreshments.
Achakwanya
again. And on your way back, you forget that fatigue is part of it.
Yeah.
Some of the roads, because these campaigns are taking place in rural areas, you are not conversant with the roads and you are driving. There are rules for convoy driving during campaign and ordinarily.
Okay.
So political parties are being reminded through this medium to observe safety standards. We cannot afford to lose our people that we are campaigning. Again, safety again comes to the campaign venue. How are the podiums, this what you call stage?
Yeah.
How are they made? You've heard reports on newspapers where campaign stages are collapses. Why are they collapsing? Perhaps the capacity is meant to bear is beyond it. Everybody wants to be seen on the stage. Everybody wants to be noticed by the governor or by his political. Everybody wants to stand up on the stage. You don't ask yourself, this stage, is it meant for 10 people or for 50 people? So these are the safety issues.
Okay.
Again, you come to a stadium. You are climbing the electric poles to see who. These are things.
Do they do that?
They do that. Wow. And it's been recorded that people fall off from that point. And these are youths. These are our future hopes.
Even if you're going to see Jesus.
Even if you are, what's the man that climbed the tree?
Exactly.
Yes. At least his own was for salvation.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what it is for.
No, maybe his own is for economic salvation.
So the safety issue is very sensitive.
It is.
We need to get to. You see, my former office need to come in. The Enugu State Traffic Management need to come in.
I think you're still thinking FRSC, and that's good.
I'll keep thinking it. It is where I kicked off from.
Wow.
Yes, in 2010. Yes, I was called to bar in 2009, joined them in 2010. So it's where I started off from. So, and I am majoring on safety laws and all that.
That's good.
So we want a situation where people will know that this is a campaign vehicle and it calls for more discipline. This is a campaign vehicle and is branded. I mean, you are speeding with a vehicle that is branded. How will people read what is branded on it?
Okay.
So we need to work hard on issue of safety to be alive to see the government that we are campaigning for.
Okay. You might want to say something quickly before we open up the top line.
On the safety issue, I just wish to remind him that during the elections, it's a synergy. There's a synergy between the government, the EMDs, and the security agencies.
Okay.
Even the FRC, they are involved in those things. But some of these things, this is when we talk about party discipline. Some of these things are better handled at the party level.
Okay.
Because at that point, they are close to you. If you are now talking now, APC will feel Buruburu's people are saying we shouldn't drive. Then
it's for you. In fact, you save yourself first.
Yes, first.
Because if you get an auto crash, you're probably the first person that will die.
And there's a very dangerous aspect again. I must let you. There's a very dangerous aspect again. People use campaign posters to cover our road signs. That's madness. I've seen it in our local government areas. A road sign that show you that this is a curve bend, that this is a zebra sign. You use campaign poster and cover it. No. This has to stop. This has to stop.
The other aspect I want to speak on, safety on the day of the election.
Okay.
It's very important because the security agency that will be involved need to be given minimal orientation. It's a mixture of their professional function and civil society job assignment. So they have to understand what they are there for. And then the people need to be informed, like the stages in voting as released by INEC. Vote, move, vote, move. This is what you do, you keep away. At the same time, you stay within a distance, you will see what is happening. They don't come and crowd the place so that the security men will not have opportunity to push you around and maybe inflict injuries on you. So these are areas you have to look at the possibility of enlightening the people more.
Okay.
Then before the lands are opened again, we talked about including voter education in our curriculum. We used to have what we call civic education. Civic education. It's still there. I think they brought it back now. So, but these things are academic in outlook. They are academic in outlook. So what we need to do is to bring in a social angle to it, so that they will see it as education for living. That's what I said. Education for life, not academic education to pass exam. So once we inculcate this knowledge, the government can get consultants, the government can create forum where people do that. I'm happy that after this election, if you find where wins, he's going for his final term. So this is now the opportunity for him to set the pace, to prepare the society of his dreams, devoid of politics. So he can start it off in Enugu State, and then it will spread out to other places.
All right, this is Revelation, made possible by Global Society for Anti-Corruption. Of course, for more information, you can visit the website www.globalanticorruption.com. You can also call them, because this program is open for sponsorship, for them to continue doing what they are doing. Some individuals and agencies can support them. 0818-721-0349. I'll take that again. 0818-721-0349, or you can dial 0703-589-2211. 0703-589-2211. You can also join their Facebook community. At Facebook, they are Global Anti-Corruption. Okay, it's an NGO, and they are doing so much trying to educate us. We could join hands with them to make it better. We'll come back to take your calls. Lines are getting open. 0902-311-109 or 0909-771-109. Our program is never complete until we get your perspective on it. Hello? Hello? Yeah, good morning. You're welcome. Just be audible.
I'm audible and brief.
All right, go ahead.
Listening to what you said is quite all right. However, you are talking about them hiding, I think you call it from ECH or so, who are used to collect results, the original.
Yes.
Does the law allow INEC correct to do so? Number two, if you say that every result will be called at the polling station, if the result will be called there, is it not possible that somebody can collect all the results from the polling station and declare results even before INEC? Is it not possible, as is done in the US and everywhere, or during close election? Finally, Transparency International has said that the trader money that is given to traders in Nigeria by the ruling party is a form of vote buying. That is vote buying. Don't you think that even the one being dished out by the traders in any state, that amounts to vote buying equally ahead of the election? Is it not possible it should be done that way? Since it is government money and not the personal money. Thank you very much. I God bless you.
All right, you've raised some concerns. They will note it. Let's take some more calls. We'll go back to the call. I mean, we'll get back to the studio so they can talk about that. You raised about 3 issues. Okay, maybe you can deal with it as we expect more calls.
Okay, the first one was on non-availability of the result sheets from EC8A. No REC has a right to withhold it. No local government electoral officer has a right to do that. If it is established that it was not there, it's supposed to be, when you're distributing electoral materials, the non-sensitive ones can go earlier. But on the day of the elections, the sensitive ones that leaves are the ballot papers and the result sheets. So if it is discovered that the result booklets are not there, the electoral officer, if the person that discovers it knows his rights and the security agents are ready to do their job, should be arrested. You have to be arrested. But what I said was that in the absence of that, even if you use a sheet of paper, get the presiding officer to sign it and thumbprint it. The ink pad is there. Take a photograph of him, because under that condition you will get him. My friend, why is it not? They say it's not supplied. So okay, now because it's supplied, do this. That is one. Then secondly, the law gives, that is, allows for the result to be declared on the booth. Once you finish counting, you announce the result.
Okay.
So once it is announced, the copies of the results are given to the party agents or the party agents.
At the polling booth.
At the polling booth.
Okay.
So collect those ones.
Anything short of that is...
Yes. So forget about what they are announcing at the collation station. Just collect those ones. But what do we discover? Many a time, the opposition parties, their agents with 1,000 naira,
are bribed.
they will go away. This syndrome of Kaiji. So once the parties train their people, collect this at the booth, you will discover that all these things we're talking about PVC, all these things we're talking about registration, 1 million, 2 million, at the day of the election, we will not get up to 500 valid votes cast.
Yeah.
So that is the situation.
Okay.
The third one about trader money, and I think you can take on that.
I will swiftly too, because I read the Transparency International report, and it was referring to the Vice President Osibanjo's similar program in the market, trader money in the market, not the Enugu State program. This program, from the records, is dated beyond this election period. And that shows you that the motive is very clear. It's not vote buying, it's empowerment of the people at the grassroots. It's been there before the election time. So it is not good for anybody to actually target vote buying. The Transparency International is not talking about Enugu State traders' money. He's talking about the one that was recently
he was just trying to say, since this one was...
no, it's mischievous to join them together.
Okay.
His Excellency has been doing this before the election.
Long before.
The records are there.
Okay. I think there's one pending question. Okay.
Which one? No. That's the...
Okay. I don't know. I can't remember. But let's hope.
It's okay.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. What's your name?
Mocha.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
The issue of trading market. Why I come into the corruption is that it was not in the budget. And if you want to do that, the first thing you have to do is to really consult the House of Assembly and know how to go on it. In this country, all of us, we are corrupt. The president, the vice president, all the House of Assembly, both I, everybody, we are corrupt. The only way we can solve this problem is for us to go out and really touch our faith, pinch our faith, how it pains us, so that we can really revive. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, we can take some more calls. 0902-311-109 or 0909-771-109. You can ask your questions. You can also make contributions. Are you still there? Okay. Hello. 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 All right, do call us back 0902-311-109 or 0909-771-109. And don't forget that this program, Revelation, is made possible by GSAC, Global Society for Anti-Corruption. Hello? Okay, and then to reach them after this program, all you need to do is to dial 0818-721-0349 or 0703-589-2211. We're looking at corruption, we're looking at electoral fraud, and we've looked at safety, we've looked at different ways it manifests in election. You talked about, what happens with the agents. So sometimes the agents are the biggest problem of the party. Because if you're supposed to represent your party and you see a bigger money and you deny your party, it's the undoing of a party. Hello? Yeah, good morning. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to join the Honorable that was talking about the reason for people coming out, the youth like us, rallies and all those things, 500 because of unemployment. That's 100% accurate. For someone like me, for instance, I'm a career president. I did 2014. Then up to now, there's nothing like any government job, and I'm not ready to start working around for it anyway. So people like us who don't have anything.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, go ahead, finish up.
People like us who don't have something to do, but you see them who out for these rallies, danger their life because of the peanuts they will get, and you don't blame them. Some of those guys are hungry. Some of them have looked for jobs. There's no job. So this is the only thing they find doing. And some are also lazy. Understand? Thank you. God bless you.
You're welcome. I think it will be necessary to really address this issue. If you don't have a job, are there other things you can do to help yourself? Because while it is a tenable reason for what is going on, one will say, what about other people who are busy doing some other things? For instance, someone mentioned messing. For instance, if you serve cement, you probably get more than what you get from going to those rallies. What do we do to solve this problem? Because it's a problem, a big one. And you go to the rural areas, you see people who don't do anything. And so how do we begin to solve this problem?
Okay. You see, why there was the time I was addressing some people, I said, we have introduced indirectly the elementary system in Nigeria. You know, the Almighty system is where
you took that from my mouth. I was
everybody will just go there, depend on allergy to feed them. The lawyer. So here, the issue,
and it's alien to
it's alien. That's why it's causing the problem. Like I said, what we need to do is government owes it to the citizenry to provide enabling environment for everybody to excel, to engage himself in one thing. Don't forget what one time one professor Adede said. In Nigeria, the poor don't sleep because they are hungry and are looking for food. The rich are awake because the poor are knocking on their doors and windows looking for food. So it's a vicious cycle. Once our political class discover and realize that their lives are being endangered every day by keeping these boys out of job, by not providing an enabling environment, by having them milling around and thinking that it gives them relevance, the sooner they realize that their own life and the lives of their children are in danger, the better for us. So that is what must happen. It's not, and don't forget about somebody comes out from school and the following day he's a counselor. The next month he's riding a brand new vehicle. What do you think his colleagues will do? Go and serve medicine? No. But boy, make I follow this way, easy way out. So once we make politics less attractive, once we create an environment for the youth and other people to engage themselves, beneficial something, doing something, then I think it'd be better for all of us.
Okay. You want to add something to that?
Yes, I still want to emphasize more on this, the Ogu farm, Aniri farm, Ezeagu farm thing.
Yes.
See how I am looking at it. If you have this, like the last caller, who said he graduated 2014, no job. If you have people like that and you bring them up as a local government chairman, because it's not just governor every time, a local government chairman, you bring them together, collect their data, train them on agricultural extension services. They will go into the rural areas to teach farmers.
We can make farming look attractive, right?
Very attractive and polished.
Let me tell you what happened. The government of Enugu State trained one person per ward. Took one person per ward to Porto-Novo for that training. One person per ward. What is required, like you said, is for the local government chairman to now harness that resources. Go and replicate it in a little way. Start off in a, if you go to Songhai farms in Ezeagu local government, you see palms with maturity period of 3 years. You see dwarf pawpaw. I have it in my house. 4 months is producing. You see a lot of things there. Very fantastic.
Let's take this call. Hello. Yeah, Ike, how are you?
Good morning.
For the topic, but maybe from some of the submissions I've had, maybe I just want to say a few things.
Go ahead.
Okay, please, I just want us to be sincere. Honestly, I am yet to see a Nigerian politician that is either aspiring for the office or is in office already for the people. I think we have to begin to say the truth, speak the truth. Because if the public office were not to be attractive, I wonder whether all this tussle, all these things we do in order to get in there, I wonder whether people will do it. The reason most of them do it is because it comes to be known that this is the shortest route out of poverty, and it's unfortunate. And we are just pretending. We keep paying lip service. So why would public officers have their children schooling abroad? And we complain of dilapidation in education. What kind of people are we in this country? Is it not possible to have a law that once you are in public office, you don't send your children to school abroad? Why can't we be sincere? Do we really want to move this country forward, or want to continue to behave like the ostrich that hides his head in the sand and then without knowing that the rest of the body is outside in the open? What is wrong with us? I laugh at this nation. Okay, the other day, the so-called political campaign people, in the first place, when you even see the people that are doing these things, these are people you know their antecedents. These are people that don't have anything good speaking for them. They beat up one or two of them, beat up a keke rider, beat him up, inflicted a very deep wound, a very deep cut on his head. And they brought him to my office. I looked at this boy, this young man with beating. After he was sutured, he didn't even have money to pay. And the people that did this had gone on, now they make campaign. What madness. I'm going to go after their order because I happen to know here. Somebody has to see. Let us tell ourselves the truth. What we are doing in this country is not democracy. It is not democracy. Let us ask and answer this question. If we make public offices less attractive, will people still be eager to go there and serve if it is true that they are going to serve?
All right.
Some politician that is going there to serve. Forget these things they are telling us, please. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you, Ike. Okay, thank you for your submission. If you listened earlier, you will see that those who are in the studio are really saying the truth. And of course, they admit that those things are there. They are there. And we do hope that we will get there. And we also hope it doesn't take us forever to get there. But everybody is working. The media is working. The CSOs are working. The NGOs are also working, and as we get more responsive and responsible government, we will see them adjust these things, and it's going to be for the benefit of everybody. If there's Udi farm, and there's Zago farm, and there's Nsuka farm, there's Odenu farm, at the end of the day, people, there's enough food, everybody smiles.
Even if we do not export, we should be able to feed ourselves.
Yes.
And hunger will go.
Hello. Yeah, good morning. What's your name? Mazayenuchi Dalo.
What they are saying is that they are not defending anybody. What we are saying. Then all this time we ordinary people we do call and complain. Why we ourselves were not having matter. For example, some of these young men used by the politicians, after getting into what they seat or whatever they want to get, they forget them. They make them turn into this. Robbing people or doing what they want to do. Why can't we, as ordinary citizens of this country, think by doing something? For example, there was one bridge here in Ada, and I'm calling from Ada, Madam Church. I just come from the side where they cultivate rice because they have been originally over there. Getting to that bridge, so people are constructing the bridge. The welders, no one they tell us, we tell them please open the side of the bridge so that people can pass through. They said if they do that, that will continue to delay their work. Then later, they said, okay, if you want them to do that, let us give them money to buy them. Then I had to wonder. So people are real, because look at it. So if we give money now, you have chance to create room for us to pass. But if you don't, so what I'm saying is, we, the ordinary, we are contributing to what is happening in this country, not only politicians. Now, we condemn we are against democracy or it's not good of yes. Let us be in the political office be less attractive. I agree. But democracy and the community which one is more better? So if we are comparing now and what we are all saying now, that we are contributing to it also. We change our behavior and whatever we are doing. That's the very good work.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that will be the last call for today. Just before we go, let's get your last submissions. Let me start from you.
Thank you very much. My message has always been consistent. For this election now, I advise everybody to be responsible, go there, behave, and vote according to your conscience. Don't allow anybody to determine your voting pattern. Don't join the bandwagon. Vote for candidates of your choice. Somebody you feel that this person, if the person gets in, you will be better for it. Then secondly, I will also tell because the CSOs now, the election observers and monitors will soon come around. Let them be more serious, okay, and see what's that, because at times there's what is called guided tour. When I was in the Electoral Commission, when they come, we provide vehicles for them and say, okay, this group is going to this group is going to then. No, let the CSOs come out and say, this is where we are going. And not just in passing, let them stay there from accreditation to final declaration of results. Okay. And when we do that, things will get a better one. Then subsequently, maybe after the elections, we will talk about which way forward to make sure that corruption is reduced to the barest minimum. Because when you talk about corruption, there's a program I was in earlier. So that's it. Thank you very much. All right. Honorable Charles Nwokike is an educationist, a politician, an activist, and currently the country director, Ethical Reforms Project. Let's get your last take.
All right. In 2005, I recall, I contested an election as the Speaker of the Student Union Government in Esut. Okay. My opponent was busy sharing money and buying beer and drinks for the voters. And I was busy going from faculty to faculty, reading out my manifesto and preaching what I want to come and do. By the end of the day, I won that election. I want to see a manifesto-driven electoral process in Nigeria, okay, not money buying politics. Money politics where we produce the wrong type of leaders. And what we have already in Enugu State is a work in progress, and I beckon on everyone to join hands to let the good work continue. The issue of unemployment must be tackled seriously. No more lip service. We have to look at it with a serious mind. The Ogu farm, the Eziagu farm, and all the farms, 17 local government farms, has to be in place, okay, so we can reduce unemployment and engage our youth, so that even if someone wants to come to political rally to support, he will come responsibly. Yeah. Thank you very much.
That's Barrister Henry Nano KK, former Road Commander, Federal Road Safety Commission, and now currently the Special Assistant to the Enugu State Government on Safety. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming around.
Thank you.